Hey guys, it's Jake here, and I want to take a look at these UVC sterilizing and germicidal lamps that are showing up all over the internet. I want to find out, number one, are they fake or are they real? And number two, if they are real, how much output each one will provide for us. And we'll use that in the next video to figure out a dosage to possibly inactivate a virus. So let's take a look. So to test a large variety, I ordered 8 different lamps on Amazon. The links are below in the description. So if you want to order any of these, they are available. And for example, here's one of them. It's going to be a quartz tube that has a mercury arc inside, and that produces UVC rays. So we have a large sample set here, and the concept is that UVC will damage the RNA or possibly DNA and different bacterias and viruses, and essentially inactivate that germ. So first thing we need to see here is that these lamps are actually producing UVC and not UVA or UVB, because those are not germicidal and not going to sterilize your surfaces. So let's start with our first lamp. The first lamp I want to use is this LED wand at the very far left that has a dimmer switch. And a word of caution here, you're going to see I will be wearing these UVC blocking sunglasses. I'll put a description in the YouTube video below. They do work, I have tested them. And then this is the measuring device and sensor that we'll use. It's made by General. I'll also have a link in the description for this as well. So you're going to see me wearing gloves here because I want to protect my skin. This will give you a pretty bad sunburn, and you won't even know it because you don't feel it and you don't see a lot of the light. So here's the first black wand. There's no name or brand on it. And I'm going to try to keep it at a consistent distance from the sensor for all of these wands. So you'll see me slide in a roll of duct tape here, and that's going to keep it 1 inch away from the sensor across all devices. So if I can get it rested on the duct tape nicely here, I want to get the max output out of this wand onto the sensor 1 inch away so we can compare it against all the different wands. And what you're going to see here is that this measuring device is measuring microwatts per centimeter squared. So you're seeing around 60 to 70 microwatts per centimeter squared out of this device. It will significantly change depending on how close you get it to the sensor, and that's why I'm keeping it at 1 inch, because that is similar to the instructions that come with these wands. These wands are designed that you could wand over your keyboard, phones, things like that, 1 inch away for 20 to 30 seconds, and they say sterilize. We don't know if that's true. That's what the next video will be about. But right now, let's just find out if these are real. So yes, this wand is real. And number two, it's putting out between 70 to 90 microwatts per centimeter squared. And let's compare that to the next wand. The next wand has a nice form factor. I bought it from Monos, MONOS.com. It's a luggage company, but this is just a relabeled LED lamp. You can also buy these on Amazon and eBay without the Monos logo. What you'll see here is 4 gold LEDs. I believe those are the UVC output LEDs, and the other LEDs are simply purple or blue light. So you can get a false impression that the entire device is outputting UVC, which is not true, and we'll prove that here in a little bit. There's only 4 working UVC LEDs in this device, and so you'll need to be careful how and where you wand it if you want it to be effective. So in this wand, we're getting around 65 microwatts per centimeter squared if I get that gold LED right over the top of the sensor 1 inch away. Now I thought it might be useful to put the wand as close as I can to the sensor just to max out, and we're seeing numbers around 350 microwatts, so I'll try to remember to do this for each wand in case you were to put your wand all the way on top of a surface. We're seeing 740 microwatts out of this. And let's go check that black wand one more time. So this black wand, I'm getting pretty poor results in the first LED or so. The second one, we're seeing 460. We better keep trying each LED. It sounds like there's some varying outputs depending on what LED that you have over the sensor here. See, it's back to only 6 on the very last LED. So maybe that last LED is not a UVC LED. I think there's some duping and some faking going on here. This one's putting over 1,000 microwatts. So the middle LEDs are more powerful, and it seems that that last one is either fake, not operating correctly, or maybe user error, but I think it's going to be the first few. This doesn't mean a whole lot because you're not going to be wanding that close, and you really kind of want an average wand of an inch away to see how well it's outputting. You can see it drops off significantly as soon as you back your wand away from whatever you're trying to disinfect. Now, I was kind of curious on that white wand. If I was to cover the 4 copper, what I suspect is UVC LEDs, and see if I can get some UVC output from the other LEDs. And so I put some tape over there, and you'll see it doesn't work nearly at all. So I would suspect that all LEDs on this wand are not actually assisting in output of UVC, only those 4 copper ones that I showed you earlier, and I'm very confident about that. I've been reading that LED UVCs are fairly expensive, between $5 to $10 each, so what I suspect is the manufacturer, they put 4 of them in there, and then the rest are just kind of for show, maybe to help you target what you're disinfecting, but ultimately they're not assisting you at all, and I think it would be better if they just eliminated them completely. Alright, next up is this little guy. There'll be a link in the description below. It has 4 LEDs, and you'll see here that it is real, it's not fake, and 1 inch away it's going to put out about 17 microwatts per centimeter squared, so not nearly as much as those other 2 devices. So it's very tiny, lightweight, has an integrated battery, but it's just not outputting very much. We don't know if that would kill a virus or inactivate a virus, but we'll find that out in the next video, what dosage or how long you'd have to hold this in order to make that happen, if it's even possible. But at least we know it is real. And on to the next device. Now I put the LED directly on the sensor, and we're getting about 490 microwatts max. And I think at the end of this video I'll have pictures of each wand or each light and the max output I was able to achieve all on one picture, so you can kind of break it down. Next up is this wand. It's using that fluorescent looking tube, and this one uses 4 AAA batteries. It does not have a built-in rechargeable battery, and this one has a safety feature where it will not turn on if it's facing you. You have to have the lamp facing the table or something below for it to actually turn on. There you go. And it'll automatically turn off if you turn it towards your face. So you can see on this little wand we're getting 120 microwatts, and as you move it around you can get it to go up a little bit, maybe 160. It's just it's finicky to get the lamp right on the sensor at the same distance, so maybe 160 or so. If we move this lamp closer directly on the sensor, we're seeing numbers in the range of 530 microwatts. Alright, I have high hopes for this one. It's pretty big. It pulls a lot more electricity out of its power source than the others. This is that Mercury arc tube. It's made by Cool Spider. It's 6 watts. I have 3 of these, 2 of them in my light box, and then I use another one in another area of the house. I'm going to think these are going to have the highest output. They're selling for about $40 on Amazon. Some have a timer switch that they come with, some just a paddle switch. So let's take a look, and hopefully these work. So we'll just plug it in on one side. Make sure you have your glasses and gloves on. This timer has a 5, 15, 30, and 60-minute option, which is nice for the light box. Then I can just throw the groceries in there and come back in a half an hour. This one produces a good amount of ozone, so you'll smell it in the garage or wherever you need to have a ventilated area. And read up on the effects of ozone. You don't want to be breathing it, so that's just a heads up for you. Okay, so this lamp's been warmed up for a while, and now we're pushing probably over 3,000 microwatts at 1 inch away from the sensor. So that's excellent. It's much, much better than any of the other devices. Let's take a look if we were to move it directly on top of the sensor. We're seeing, what is that, 9,300 microwatts was the highest I saw. And then you'll see if I was to back it away from the sensor, it's going to fall significantly. But maybe you install that inside a box and you're still pushing 260 microwatts a foot or two away. That's significantly better than any of these wands that we're seeing so far. So I have high hopes for this one on the next video. Alright, next up is this guy. There's a link in the description below. The LEDs look pretty simple. I don't have a lot of faith that this is going to be real. There's none of those copper looking LEDs, but let's give it a shot, see how it does. So we're seeing the numbers around 15, 17 microwatts. Remember, that's going in all directions, so it is very low power compared to a lot of these, but it's 360 degrees. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out in the dosage in the next video, but there's your number. It is real. It's just not real powerful. And if we put it directly on the sensor, we'll see numbers around 56 microwatts. So that's extremely low compared to a lot of the other devices. But maybe it's one of those things you run for an hour or two in a room, and if the dosage factor's right, it might actually work. We'll see in the next video. Alright, the next guy is this big garage looking flood lamp. I know these have been popular for garages. And this one has two sets of lights. So it's got a normal set of lights mixed with UV LEDs, and then if you flip the switch, it will play just the UV LEDs. So there's two functions in this lamp. So when I was filming this, I didn't realize there was two functions, and I would just turn it on once, and that's supposed to be the flood lamp. And even when it's outputting the flood lamp, you're getting 60 microwatts of UVC, and it's supposed to not be outputting any UVC at this point. So I don't know if this is a danger factor going on here. I'll put notes in the description of this video if I get more time to analyze it, but right now I think it's supposed to be a normal garage lamp, but it's also outputting UVC on kids, pets, people. So this sounds pretty dangerous here. Now I'm going to switch to a different camera angle in a second and show you that I did operate it the way it's supposed to, and you'll see the color will change, and the numbers are pretty similar. So here we are with the lamp again, and the first time you turn it on is normal light for the garage, and then the second time is supposed to be the UVC sanitation. Okay, so here's with the garage lamp on. It is outputting UVC, so that's dangerous. You should not be doing that unless you want to treat this light as only a sterilizing light. You would never want to use it for normal light purposes. And then here I'm going to shift it over to the other side and run the sterilizing function in this light. Okay, so here it is in the sterilizing mode, and we're seeing a number of about 4 microwatts, so very low number, and this is 15 inches away from the sensor, but it is real and it is outputting UVC almost the same amount as when it's operating as a normal LED lamp. So I'm concerned about that, and I'm also concerned that that number is extremely low for a 60 watt advertised sterilizing lamp. Okay, next up is this phone sterilizer. The idea is you put your phone in there, you press a button, it cleans it. Well, here we are. This sensor is right up against the wall where the tube is there, and it's pulling, or it's pushing 120 microwatts. I don't think you'll ever have your phone that close, and this is only the edge of your phone. You probably have your phone right about here, so it would be picking up about 48, 50 microwatts. I think that's a reasonable number. What I am concerned is everything is line of sight, so if your phone has any bit of shadow underneath it, it won't get clean. You'll have to flip your phone. And also, what about the glass on top of your phone? It's not receiving anything. And even when I closed the lid with the white plastic, it was maybe getting 1 microwatt. So I think this would sterilize the sides of your phone, but I'm not sure it would sterilize the glass or the back of your phone. So if I flip the sensor upside down, I could get about 3 microwatts on top of the glass here, and maybe 10 depending on what angle you're at. So let's give it 40 for the edges, and maybe 10 or 15 on the glass, and probably nothing on the back of the phone. And we'll use that in the next video to see how long you would need to run this device to actually clean a phone. I thought I'd give you a little different camera angle of where the sensor is dropping into the box. So it is well below the lid, probably higher than a normal phone, but it is under the lid. And so if you had a phone with a pretty thick case, the sensor hitting straight up would be very similar to a phone. So to gather a little more data before the next video, I thought I would measure 15 inches away from the sensor, and then we'll apply those 3 bigger lamps at 15 inches to see what their output would be. So my favorite lamp of the group here is pushing 80 microwatts up and down at 15 inches away. So that's some good data to use later. And let's compare that to the next one. And this is that bulb that had LEDs in 360 direction. It was very low output before, and it's low output now. We're getting 1 microwatt at 15 inches no matter where we turn it. And the next thing I want to take a look at here is my sanitation light box. I've been using this to sanitize groceries coming in the house, N95 mask for work. So I measured an exact distance here with the Cool Spider 6 watt, and let's get an idea of how strong this is going to be. So inside the light box at about 15 inches away, let's turn on this bulb. And remember, there's a warm-up period, but we're starting out at 70 microwatts, 15 inches away. What's nice about this light box is it can reflect off the walls, and you could also mount another light there on the left, which I used to have, and you can kind of bombard the groceries, remotes, phones from all different directions. So we'll use this data in the next video to see if there is a decent exposure time to inactivate viruses. But for now, it seems quite promising. Here's just a shot of the light tube starting up. And how do I know that these glasses work? You can see if I put it over the sensor, it drops all the way down to 0. So I know that these particular UVC sunglasses do work. I'll put a description in the link below, because there'd be nothing worse than wearing something that you think's working that's not. Okay, so big picture, we wanted to see if any of these were fake. It sounds like none of them are fake. They all did produce varying levels of UVC, some of them not well at all, some of them a good amount. and that was goal number 1. Number 2, we did run into that floodlight up there that actually seems unsafe to me. It's producing UVC when it should not be, so watch out for that guy. And the last thing, we gathered some good data to use in the next video to figure out how long you would need to apply each one of these lamps, at what distance, to find out if there would be a high likelihood of inactivating germs and viruses. So that's it for today. We appreciate if you like and subscribe and join us on future Fix It with Jake videos. I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to leave you with some footage and close-ups of each wand so you can check out the LEDs and some form factor. But thank you very much for watching.